Hi, welcome to the Staking Geek channel. Today we're going to be discussing stacks, STX, and ways we can make passive income holding the STX token. Thanks for being with me, and let's get right into it. So currently, STX is down about 8%. They've had a lot of interest over the last few weeks because of the hype around Bitcoin ordinals. And if you're not familiar with the Bitcoin ordinals, their NFT project building within the Bitcoin block space. And that tends to be very controversial because each Bitcoin block is about 1 megabyte, and generally that holds 2,000 transactions. A lot of folks are worried that NFT projects are just going to crowd up the Bitcoin block space, which is currently very valuable block space because of the maximum amount of Bitcoins that will be mined. So let's get into Stacks project. And if you're not familiar with Stacks, they are the smart contract engine for Bitcoin. So you can write different projects through the STX ecosystem, and it will be secured and settled on the Bitcoin blockchain through the proof of work mechanism. Let's just do a quick review of STX on CoinMarketCap. You can see if we drill down a few months ago, the price of the STX token was trending anywhere from 20 cents to 30. And just recently it hit a high of $1.02. If you go back a month or so, you could see the volume was quite stable and low. And within the past few weeks, we saw a high of 871 million, almost a billion in volume in 24 hours. That's what drove up the price. And it was all hype around building NFTs and building different apps on Bitcoin. So let's get into stacks on a high level, and then we'll discuss how to make passive income holding the STX token. So as I mentioned, Stacks is the smart contract engine for Bitcoin, and it uses the Clarity programming language. And here's a link to the Clarity website. Clarity brings smart contracts to Bitcoin, the simplest terms. So this allows people that want to build within the Bitcoin ecosystem. Stack uses a proof of transfer consensus, which transfers the security to the Bitcoin proof of work. So all transactions are settled on Bitcoin layer 1 and 100% secured by the massive amounts of Bitcoin hash power. So who are the founders of Stacks? You can read here. But what I wanted to mention was Stacks was the first token to be approved by the SEC, and you can go here and read all about it. So Stacks originally was called Blockspace, and Blockspace became the first company to receive the approval from the SEC to sell digital tokens in an ICO raise back in 2019. There's a lot of controversy right now with the SEC, but we're not going to get into that on this video. Some of the other highlights I wanted to mention about Stacks is their upcoming release will be secured by the entire hash power of Bitcoin. That's interesting. So I'm assuming right now they're only being secured by a portion of the network. Another exciting development is the atomic swaps. And what's this going to do, from what I understand, is the atomic swaps are you're going to be able to swap tokens from separate blockchains without any intermediaries or regulated exchanges. So that's exciting. Okay, so let's get into how we can make passive income holding the STX token. And folks, this is somewhat easy. This particular project is. Normally when I want to stake something, I'll go over here and just check it out. This is a great website for different staking pools and assets and providers. Right now, staking in a pool or through an exchange is going to yield you roughly 4.5% per year. This was about 12% a few weeks ago before all the volume, the recent volume and interest in STX. And if you have 100,000 STX tokens, you can stake solo through the Hiro Wallet, but that does not going to yield you much more. So let's get into it. So I'm going to go over to their website, stacks.co, and I'm going to simply start stacking or staking, but they call it stacking. And the easiest way, the non-recommended way, is to do it through an exchange, and Binance seems to be the biggest one here. But as they say, not your keys, not your crypto. If you decide to stake with an exchange, you're giving them your tokens. And if something happens to that particular company, they own they have possession of those tokens. You want to be careful in that regard. So another way that I would say most people would want to stake their STX tokens is through a pool. And there's a few different types of pools. One pays you in Bitcoin, another pays you in STX. Some have minimums, some have fees. But I'm very interested in getting paid in Bitcoin, staking my STX. That sounds appealing. So I'm going to click on this pool. And if you haven't already, you will need to set up a Hiro wallet. And I'll leave the link to that. It's wallet.hiro.so. I've already installed the wallet. We'll go back to this page. And I want to hit start stacking. Choose my account. I don't have any money in here. This is just to show you how to do it. If you want, I can make a separate video on actually staking your STX tokens, but it's fairly straightforward. Looks like there's a cycle. I believe it's 15 days, if I'm not mistaken, so I understand. And if I had the STX tokens, so what you want to do is you want to buy your STX tokens on an exchange like Coinbase. So if I go back to CoinMarketCap, STX tokens are available pretty much anywhere. So let's say you want to buy some on Coinbase. You would transfer those tokens over to your Hiro wallet. And once your balance shows, you'll see, let's say 200, you would stake your total 200. This particular pool is paying you 5.58 APY, a little bit higher than we initially saw. And that's it. If you want to own a larger stake in the STX project, you can purchase 100,000 STX, which at this point is going to be around $70,000, and you can stake on your own without being in a pool. I don't know the exact APY on that. I would assume it's a little bit higher. I wasn't able to find that out because I don't hold 100,000 STX. And for some larger holders, I'm assuming Coinbase is holding massive amounts of STX for some of the institutions. But that's it, folks. It's fairly straightforward. The recommended way for most people, I would say, is to stake your STX tokens in a pool. But for those who trust the exchanges and trust their tokens with Binance, can receive residual income holding the STX tokens through an exchange. Well, that's it, folks. Love to see some comments, recommendations, and any thoughts on the content. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you in my next video.